welcome back to another amazing episode of Spit or Swallow with your favorite host, Hausa Chocolate. Yay! Today is going to be an amazing, amazing day. I'm so excited. I have two special guests with me in the studio. I have with me Miss Cheron Griffin and Mr. Hunni Bunni. welcome, Sharon. Welcome, Honey Bunny. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Thank you.
us.
Thank you
We're so
for
excited.
thank you for being here. I'm very excited. So I'm just gonna let you introduce yourself and
Okay.
what you do
Okay.
to the audience. So
So my name is Cheron K. Griffin, aka Madam Butterfly, because I bring you the magic.
okay.
Okay. I'm an author, speaker, matchmaker, relationship coach, dating concierge, all that
You
shit
do it
and
all.
more.
Mhm.
I have a reality show, Preachers, Exes, where we focus on ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, ex-mistresses, and ex-misters.
Ooh.
Yes, and this is my wonderful husband.
I'm her better half.
Aw, cute.
I love it.
Thank you. Do you want to tell us what you do? Just give us like a brief, introduction.
Oh, I just run around, follow her.
Love that.
Chasing that tail.
Okay. So we're just gonna get into it. Is that beeping normal? Okay. Yeah. So how's your sex life?
I think our sex life is great.
Mhm.
When we first met, I did ask him, "Do you still like to fuck?" Like that was
Ooh.
the first question because I really enjoy sex and I wanted to have a healthy sex life with my spouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Honey Bunny, what was your answer?
Yes, I still love sex, and she didn't give me none when I first met her.
Really?
I actually made him wait. I have this formula that I'm not going to discuss here
Mm.
to get anything you want from a man without having sex.
Ooh.
Because a lot of women think that you need to fuck in order to get stuff, and that's not true. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll be coming for that masterclass.
Secret sauce, yes, baby.
I love that. I love that. So spit or swallow?
I did swallow babies about 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna say swallow.
He's like,
It's,
don't tell them my
she
business.
don't do that on average. I have to get that out of her.
Ooh, so you're a
That's true.
spitter.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say this: my alter ego, Shay, has to come out.
True.
And I think because I've been inhibited from the church, but I am very open to a lot of things. But sucking dick in my generation wasn't like the thing. It was like taboo. So I have to okay, come on, we getting ready to suck some dick. You know?
Not the pep talk.
Yeah, I have
Wow.
to pump myself up for this.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So tell me about your journey. How did you get into what you do now, doing
Okay.
the dating concierge? And you said you're an ex preacher's wife. So what was that like? What was sex like? Even when
very
you
boring. So when I
Ooh.
wanted to have uninhibited sex, now I'm uninhibited sexually, but the sucking dick thing. So when I wanted to do all that kind of stuff, no, seriously, when I wanted to do all that kind of stuff, he thought that was nasty and that preachers' wives don't do that.
do stuff like
So that was a 16-year marriage.
Wow.
So you have someone saying no, 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 and you want to do it. So it kind of just puts you in a place where, like, whatever. So being married to a preacher is something that I would not wish on anyone.
Whoa.
And I'm not saying that there are, or preachers are all bad, because I don't know all of them.
Of course.
But I'm saying my experience is something that I would never wish upon anyone. And I was married to two preachers, and I
Wow.
saw the same thing consecutively, which was the cheating, the women, the lies, just all of that. So that's why I created the show based on my reality. And when I did, so many preachers' wives came out with similar
Similar stories.
stories. Yeah, and it was totally sad, but I believe that God, spirit, universe gives us a journey, right?
Yeah.
And what we've done or what we experienced on our journey is a blessing to us financially, because we turn our pain into our passion, to our profit. So I thank God
that.
for the journey, and I learned to really trust God and have that relationship with God and not man,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, for
So
sure.
I go directly to the source as
Exactly.
opposed to through someone. So I don't go to church anymore.
And honestly, that makes sense because even when you think of the field of sex, a lot of what causes so much of the popular consciousness or attitudes that people have towards sex, it comes from religion, it comes from the purity culture, it comes from shaming, it comes from,
Exactly.
as you said, why would you be sucking dick or giving oral, why would you give a woman head, so many things are taboo. There are some people who say they're never going to do doggy style
Right.
because I'm not an animal.
Now I do like that. I do like that.
I mean, that's a great position.
I think so. They can go deep. So
Yeah,
anyway.
so it's good. So Honey Bunny, do you be going deep?
I try to, as much as I can.
Said I'm doing my best. But yeah, so for sure, like I definitely believe in God and
Yes.
divine spirits and your personal connection, because I
Yes.
think that no one can experience God the same way, honestly. But where things get lost in translation is obviously like through the holy books, and even the holy books as well. A lot of times, because people are so pastor focused,
Yes.
it's what the pastor reads and comes and tells you is his own interpretation. And we
Yes.
There you
forget
go.
that
There you go.
people they're as good as their experiences, they're as good as
Yes.
their frame of reference. So someone can read the same scripture and the way it will manifest in
Right.
them is going to be different from how it would for you.
Yes.
And
Different
if you can't pass like a
interpretations.
blanket one message across all, but people don't like to read or find things themselves and stuff, and then it now goes into, and it's sad because like you would expect that religious institutions are places where everyone is welcome,
Right.
but they can be very exclusionary and very judgmental because it's like, oh, don't do this, I should be pure. It just gives people a lot of guilt, and when the
Yes.
guilt translates into like the bedroom and into like sex life, it comes with a lot of issues.
It
So
does.
so it's
does.
very tough. I think it's something that I always um think about, even with sex therapy, because you want to always respect people's values as well.
Yes.
But sometimes when you see how those things are harming them, like navigating that can be a fine balance, and you can't just be like, yo, don't do this or don't do
Right.
that. You have to
Right.
find that balance between them still living their best sex lives, but being comfortable enough to abide by the rules in certain ways.
So we're from two different generations,
Yeah.
right? So I'm 53, he's 67, and
Ooh.
our
Look good, don't I?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you were like 50 something.
No,
Amazing.
and the generation gap is totally different, because things that I wanted to experience sexually, he's like, you do that, so we had to, come to a compromise, and he's done it, like choking. I'm like, choke me. Right? And one time he choked the hell out of me. I was like, never mind, no more choking.
Okay.
For me. Like, no, seriously, I was like, like safe word.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, what's the safe word?
I don't know if he was taking out his
Well,
past aggression.
I've never had, we've both been married. She's been married 5 times. I've been
Yeah,
married
he's
4.
my 5th marriage.
And
Wow.
I've never experienced that. Nobody want me to choke
Choke
them.
So, yeah.
So can I ask about you being married 5 times?
Yeah,
Is it a thing where because I remember when I was younger,
Okay.
when I was like 10, 11, I used to say that I wanted 4 husbands.
Okay.
And I was like,
At one time?
no.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm like, can I have 2? Can I have 2 at the same time? But back then, I think it was because I knew that I didn't think that having sex with one person forever never made sense.
Okay.
But I felt like I wanted to do it right. So I used to say, oh, I'll marry someone from like Nigeria, then divorce him, then I'll marry an American, then divorce him, then I'll marry a Caribbean. Because in my head, I just associated sex with something that you do inside marriage.
Okay.
So do you feel like for you, it was one of those things where there's certain things you would only do with a husband? Are you more traditional in that sense? Or
Okay, I'm not traditional anymore, but there's a scripture that says, I'd rather marry than to burn. And the church would teach you that having sex outside of marriage, you're going to go to hell.
Mm,
And who really wanted to go to hell? You know what I'm saying? It was
yeah.
more fear based.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've come to the conclusion that um, it's okay for young ladies or young men to experience healthy sexual relationships before marriage,
Yeah.
um, because that's a part of life. We're sexual beings,
Mm-hmm.
right? So why not have sex? You know, if you're going to do it in a very healthy manner. And when I say healthy, just protect yourself
Mm-hmm.
from diseases and such, and just keep it moving.
Okay.
You know, and I want my girls and our sons to have sex,
Mm.
you know, outside of the confines of marriage.
Okay. So, would you say before? Does that mean you've never had casual sex?
No, I've always had casual sex, but I always had the conscience that I'm going to go to hell. So it was more like you have sex and then you repent. Oh my God, I'm sorry, God. Don't make me go to hell. I'm sorry. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And it's just, that's trash. But the people who were teaching this, right?
Mhm.
Our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents, they were fucking
Mm.
before they were married. So
They
why are you
were.
telling me
They
this?
were.
And
And
why they were married.
Right.
Yes.
You know, with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why are you telling me this when you didn't even do it? Just teach me to have healthy
Safe
sex.
sex.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Safe sex.
it. You
No, for
know,
sure. I definitely agree. So, how's your journey been like from transitioning through? How do you get past the religious guilt, because
okay.
that's something that a lot of people face, especially in Nigeria.
Okay.
And then how did you transition into being this superstar, going from a preacher's wife to having your own show, doing the dating concierge,
Okay.
being like who you are now?
I wrote a book. So on my way to Dallas, Texas, from leaving my ex-husband, I played the song Just Fine by Mary J. Blige all the way to Texas, 21-hour drive. And I felt like the shackles were coming off my hands, my feet, and my neck.
Mm-hmm.
And now it was time for me to really experience my freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And I cut everyone off that I knew, including my family, because I just wanted that relationship with God. And that's when I became or started walking into my own.
Mm-hmm.
I say I was in a cocoon and I came out as a beautiful butterfly.
I love that.
And that was very easy for me. And once I transitioned from being the preacher's wife to being myself, I began to enjoy life, like dancing and just hanging out and just having fun. But I had lost that part of me in marriage, being the preacher's wife.
Yeah.
You know, I had confined to what religion wanted me to be
Yeah.
and not what God wanted me to
I
be.
can imagine you probably had to dress a certain way.
I looked
act a certain-
old. I looked really old. Now I normally wear my titties out. I'm jealous. I should have today.
I mean, I can see some. I can see some through the see-through as well.
Oh, I know, baby. I know. And they nice. They nice.
They are. They are.
Thank
they
you.
are.
Actually, after I had them done, I met him and he said, "Oh, you had your titties done for me." I said, "Absolutely."
Well, that's the first thing she showed me.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I showed him. Yeah.
We met. Let's see, we met. Then maybe was it the next day?
It was the next day.
Okay.
Uh huh.
Okay,
What happened the next day?
Well, you came over, and we went in the pool, and you showed me your breasts.
Yeah, I took my top off. Like
she took her
I
top
felt like a sense of freedom. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, if I could be, what are those people that like to be naked? Yeah,
Nudist.
yeah.
No, but
like,
I've always said, honestly, I am a nudist at heart. If not for the way society is set up, I would be naked all the time. And I like
Yeah.
clothes I don't feel like I would tie banana leaves on my vagina and walk around with my titties out all the time.
See?
Yeah, I haven't worn a bra in 2 years.
I
Going
love
to 3,
it.
yeah, and I don't
I
think
love
I'm
it.
ever gonna go back, honestly.
Okay,
'Cause it's
okay.
just-
Now, okay, so religion will tell you, you know, you grow up and you wear panties and you put on a panty liner. Like now I go without panties and I love it.
Yes,
It's like freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's that song? Oh, Drake said, "Bend that ass over, let that coochie breathe,
Yes,
let it
honey,
breathe."
yes. Matter of fact, he said today, he was like, I hope you have on panties because your skirt might fly.
I love that. So tell me how you met. Tell me about your journey.
Oh
As well.
wow.
Yeah.
She does better. You want to tell the story?
So we met in the Dominican Republic. I had just come back from Spain. I was over there 3 months, and I just prayed. I was like, all right, God, where do you want me to go next? And I heard the DR. And the next day, I actually looked up
So
a place.
pause 1 second. Blue passport, blue passport privileges, blue passport privileges. But yeah, go ahead.
The DR.
What is that?
Oh, the American passport. So you can access like most of the countries in the world without getting a visa. If I wanted to do that, I would have to start like applying and all that
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay,
Really?
okay,
Really?
okay.
Must be nice.
Yes. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I found a place on the beach and I booked it. I did not know where I was going. It was just a place called Sosua. And what I later found out was men go there to sleep with the chicas.
The chicas are the
Yeah.
women.
The women, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there were so many men. Oh my God, it's like a woman's heaven. And I was by myself.
And not to interrupt, but
It's okay.
on the plane, usually, it's very few black people on airplanes. This plane, when the gentleman that I went over there with was my brother's close friend, and I had just lost my previous wife, to cancer,
Sorry
breast
about that,
cancer, of
yeah.
27 years. So he's invited me to go to the DR, I hadn't had sex since, my wife passed. So I'm going over there to sleep with the chicas. I had like $1,000 in my pocket, and you get a lot with that. $20 a shot. So, but anyway, so I get there, and I meet you the
Your second day.
the second day I was there,
In my 5th week.
in her 5th week.
Oh, you had been there for some time.
Yeah, she had been
What had you been up to before he came?
You know what? It was a self-love journey. To be honest, that's where I really, really, I took off my masculine and put on my feminine. I really had a come to God meeting because I was sick for 1 week. So it was just me and God, and I would just pray and talk to God and cry. And, one day I was just in the shower, and I said, God, you did not create me to be like this. And when I said like this, I was talking about operating in my masculine. Because, you have money as a woman. You're like, fuck you, nigga, I don't need you. And I took on that characteristic. And I said, God, I want to be a woman. I want to be what you designed me to be. And I just cried and I wept. And it was like that week I met him.
So we actually met in a club. We were both out, in the club. And I just happened to be standing beside her. So one of the guys I was with, from call, he was a guy from the DR.
Yeah.
He was going to try to hit on her.
He did try.
Yeah. So anyway, so I just started talking to her, and I knew she wasn't from there because she had that bald head. And so we just started talking. I don't know how we got on the subject, but come to find out, we're both born on the same day, July 26th.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
cute.
And my wife that passed away, she was a life coach, and she also did
Public speaking. Yeah.
And these are some of the same things that she does. So we had a lot in common. I think God was, as I say, God took my rose, because my wife that passed away, she loved yellow roses, and he gave me a beautiful butterfly.
Aw,
So-
that's so
Yeah.
cute.
So,
And we've been together ever since.
happily. And he
Having good sex.
Yeah. So
I'm about to get into that, but yeah, I'm listening to the love bits.
So the next day after we met, I think I stayed the night with you, right?
Right, right. Didn't give me none
No, I
either.
let him play with my titties though. I took him out. He was playing with them.
Uh,
I was wheeling them in.
and I didn't sleep with the chicas.
You
That's
didn't
the
sleep with any
didn't
chicas.
sleep with any
Oh yeah, because
chicas.
that was like your second day there.
Yeah,
Exactly. Wow.
yeah,
She was just like, I'm here now. No more
yeah.
chicas. Just me.
Right.
But you know what?
Got all my money in my pocket.
If he had, it would not have been
But
a big
did you
deal
have
to me.
any partners before he came?
No,
No.
I didn't.
Aw.
I actually
She's
just,
all.
I just
That's
had
so
fun.
cute. Yeah, because she
I
had been
was-
there for 5 weeks.
Right,
Like,
right.
yeah.
I just hung
No,
out
she
on the
was saving
beach.
it for me.
I
Right?
did meet different men.
Mm.
But I
But
was
you
like
wasn't you
one
weren't
of the
drawn to them.
homeboys. Does that make sense? I felt
Yeah.
like I was just like, hey, what's up? What's up,
Yeah.
nigga? Like that. So it wasn't like, oh my God, you're so fine, or no, it was like, what's up? Like that. So yeah.
And she introduced me to a lot of the guys.
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was there for 5 weeks, so a lot of the
You
men
knew.
lived there.
Were they like
so-
older men as well?
Oh yeah, actually, one had cooked dinner for me and taught me how to do the bachata and everything. And our year anniversary, I took him over there to meet
Yeah, we
him.
went back.
Yeah.
Have you been with any younger men?
I would
Oh,
say
wow.
maybe a
Good
year.
question. Good
Yeah,
question.
maybe a
I
year or
like
two,
you.
but not young as in 10 years. That's my girlfriend. She dates some like 20 something. She's like 50 something. Yeah, so me, no. I like matured men who have their shit together. So
yeah, fair
no.
enough. It makes
No.
sense. I mean, I can see how meeting him as well, and I can tell he has that like old school flavor of being respectful and treating
Yeah.
you like a woman and treating you like a baby, and it's what you said about being in your feminine and
Right.
meeting someone who, even though you're independent, and that's what I think a lot of men also don't get. Just because someone's independent and she's firm and she's assertive, it doesn't mean she doesn't want that space where she can be a baby, no matter what
Right,
age you
right,
are.
right.
Now, see, that's the opposite with me. With her,
Yeah.
I preferred the older women because they're more mature. They got their stuff together. They ain't trying to get no money out of my pocket. Anything we sharing, but it's just different with her.
Oh.
Yeah. That's my friend.
She brings the youth. She brings, I would say, a lot of stuff that was inside of me that was hidden. She brings it out. Yeah.
What would you say is like the greatest thing she's taught you?
Oh, wow. Let's see. To laugh. To laugh. And to just be calm and peaceful.
I'm a very happy person. I'm internally happy. So I laugh a lot. I smile all the time. It's rare that I have a bad day, and if I do, I sing a song called I Got Sunshine, and it kind of jogs my mindset or shifts it back into that happy place. So it's rare that I'm not happy.
Is it like I got sunshine on a cloudy day? Okay.
And I'm very
That's a good song.
playful in the home, and I do silly things, and I keep him laughing all the time. But that's just my expression of joy to the Creator, not for just who I am, but also, for blessing me tremendously in life, because so many people would say, "Oh," or have said, "You're not going to be anything. You're always going to be on welfare, this and that." But God said no. You know what I'm saying? And what I know is faith without works is dead. So I put the work in to go with my faith to become who I am today. And I thank God for him who's on this journey with me, because he's super amazing and super calm, and he brings out the best in me. He's my peace. So if there is an unpeaceful day, he's my peace, and he has tamed me because he's so peaceful. A lot of men try to tame me with their words because I am loud and boisterous, and but he just allows me to be free. And because of that,
You're naturally
down.
calm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Some people are definitely good for your nervous system, and it's something I say. I find that love and a good relationship can be so healing in so many
Yes.
ways. In so many
Yes.
ways, because there are many times when people feel like they're certain way, you're like, oh yeah, I'm tough, I'm this, I'm that, and it's like you're only that way because you're protecting yourself. Your defense mechanisms are up.
Yes.
You're only, you know, you haven't found a safe enough space to relax and just, be who you are. So that's amazing, very beautiful to see, very inspirational.
Oh,
But
thank
yes,
you.
let's get into the nitty gritty
All
of it.
right. Come on.
So tell me about your sex lives. I think that as we were discussing before we started rolling, there are lots of misconceptions when it comes to older people and
Okay.
sex. A lot of people, say that with married couples as well, they no longer have sex, or especially with women. I find that, people give more leeway to men because they say, oh yeah, men can have sex until whatever age.
Okay.
But then they say that, as a woman, you don't want sex anymore, or, you're just not
But
having as
that's
good
not
sex.
true with men. I think you get a certain age and you're thinking every day, oh, wow, is this the last day? Is it going to get up tomorrow? So, without having to take some Cialis or some Viagra or something like that, yeah. It's, we,
But I tell him, the day that starts, he always has his mouth and we'll be fine. His mouth and toys.
Right? Exactly.
So I wouldn't be upset or like, oh my God, he can't have sex. I gotta go somewhere else. No, baby, we got
yeah,
other
and
things we can do.
that's men's fears, waking up one day and not
And
being able to,
yeah, but
get hard.
even with that, there's so many like techniques. It's like sensate focus. There are different, there are ways to get around it as
True,
well.
true.
Even if you don't want to go all the way to Viagra, but some people, do that and stuff. But I can understand that how that
Yeah,
would be fear, because
yeah.
I think anytime
It's a
people.
mental, yeah, it's a
Yeah, and
mental.
anytime people think about, sex with older men, the first thing is always, oh, can he get it up, or can
Right,
he
right.
last long, stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
For me, I think I would have dated older men when I was younger, but my grandmother used to say old men give you worms.
Give,
And I couldn't figure, I'm
give you
like, how,
cooties.
What kind
yeah,
of
like, how
worms?
do they give you worms? Like, all my life I've been wondering, how do they give you worms? And then one day, maybe about 2 years ago, I was like, oh, she was trying to prevent me from dating older men. I did not know that in the beginning. I just tried to figure out, how do I
Yeah.
get these worms?
Yeah, and it's so funny because there's certain things that people can tell you in your childhood that you carry deep into
Yes.
adulthood, and you would never even think, let me Google or fact check this, because you
Right.
think, obviously, this person is not lying to me,
Right.
and it will shape your perception of something, and then you're just like, wait, what even is worms?
Right, right.
And you're like, wow,
No, sir, I was thinking, is it through the sperm? Like, I did not know. And that, like, was a question throughout life.
Wow.
So. But when we met, he started taking, what is it, Ohimbe?
Yeah, Yohimbe.
What is that?
Probably know about that.
What is that?
It's like a
A
herb
herb.
Yeah.
here from Africa. I don't know what part of Africa, but a lot of men in the States.
So do you take it as like a tea, or do they make them in
It was
capsules,
like in a
or
pill.
in
It was a
pill?
pill.
And I told him, stop taking that.
Yeah.
It was making him sweat, and his nose was always running. Stop it. We be having sex and the drip coming out. I'm like, stop. No more. Please stop taking it.
And I got,
But what did they claim it did? Was it like,
it's
was it for
supposed
a
to be an
libido thing?
aphrodisiac, and you
Aphrodisiac.
keep you,
Just
yeah,
keep you,
get you
yeah.
horny. It's supposed to get you
I
hard.
mean, to be honest, we do have. I don't know if I would call it an aphrodisiac problem here, but there's so many, off the shelf, like
Right.
Spanish fly, and like,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
old. That's
yeah,
real
and
old.
there's exactly,
Spanish fly.
yeah, exactly. But then they
Yeah.
have so many, and some people even say stouts is an aphrodisiac.
What's
Yeah,
that?
like stout, like Guinness.
Oh, Guinness
Okay,
style.
Yeah, like
wow.
stout is an
Oh.
aphrodisiac as
So
well.
my daughter was explaining to me that a lot of young men are taking these type of
Yeah,
products because
Viagra.
they're not getting aroused anymore. Yeah, and in the U.S., a lot of young men aren't being able to perform.
But I think that a lot of it is definitely psychological. It comes from a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's how I say sometimes, like, many times when people have sex for the first time, there's a lot of performance in the first instance because, you have the woman trying to be like, oh, whap, 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 whap. Yeah. And then the guys are like, oh, I'll blow your back out. I'll
Right,
knock you. I'm
right,
going to make
right,
sure you
right.
sleep and all of that stuff. And then when there's that pressure there, there's not enough room to be your authentic self and be like, this is actually what I like, and it's
Right.
how I think that men can be over sexualized sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
where, but I think they also do it to themselves too.
Yes.
The same way people try to take the power away from women, like, oh no, it's men that like sex more, it's men that like sex more.
Okay.
But then you find out that, oh, this is a horny person and she wants you to go for 1 hour, and all you had is like 5 minutes, to type stuff. So it's
Right there.
We
She's
don't
one
need
and
no
done.
hour.
She's
or
one and done.
anything. Yeah, I
One and
am
done.
one and done. Once I bust that first one, I'm like, okay, I'm
Okay,
good.
bye.
Time to go night night. So I'm good on that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that, the first times a lot of people are really like performing, and there's always like that idea of what sex should look like. Then
Right.
obviously porn has also skewed the reality of what good sex is. Like I always say,
Right.
there's no marker for what good sex is. It's like, am I satisfied with that? Like you said, one and done is good for you. Me, I'm like, no, rounds.
Really? Okay. No, I've always been one and done. Like, I don't. Once I get that, I'm fine. So we could do it every day, but we don't have to do it continuously. So yeah.
But Honey Bunny, are you also like a one and done, or do you like, what do you prefer sexually?
At this age, one and done is fine. I mean,
He's like my butt.
but no, it's like, oh, excuse. It's like, it's just like cuddling's good. You
Yeah.
don't have to have sex every night. And I don't have to come every day. And my thing is, for me, having sex with her is making her come. And if I can make her come, I'm fine. And I like to take it slow. I'm not like,
Yeah,
I like to
he's
go slow. I'm not
Very
like,
sensual and
yeah,
very-
yeah.
That won me over.
foreplay and
Yeah,
foreplay.
that won me over.
Yeah.
Give her a good massage.
Aww.
All that good stuff. Yeah.
I never had anyone to romance me. So when he did that, I felt like he was making love to his wife that transitioned. Seriously, I was like,
And she said, what did you
Yeah.
say? Oh, are you thinking about, because her name was Shay Shay. Are you thinking about Shay Shay?
and he's called me her name a few times.
Yeah, in the beginning I did.
But I was like, that's okay. Whatever
Yeah,
Shay got, I'm loving.
I mean, fair.
I
And
said,
20,
okay,
and
Shay,
27,
thank
27,
you.
26 years. That's
Yeah.
a long time,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
She's
I
definitely
wasn't mad.
did,
I
yeah.
said, ooh, this what she got? Thank you.
She's like, I don't mind if
Yeah,
I do.
I need you for right now, baby.
Yeah.
So, and we discussed that where
Yeah.
I feel like other women might have been offended or mad.
For
Like, you
sure.
called me her. I appreciated it because it was so sensual and passionate. I've never experienced that. So I was like, oh, I like this. I'll be her the rest of my life.
She's like, call me Shay. I don't
But
mind.
that's,
Yeah.
but that's
That's
her
my nickname, though.
Because
But
we were
we were in Philadelphia.
We were in Philadelphia at your
No, we were at a little restaurant. You came outside bringing the food, and you said, "So, what's your name?" Playing, and I said, "Oh, Shay," and it was like he saw a ghost because he never told me her name.
Oh,
So it was
wow.
like, what?
and then your mother called you that. Somebody called you that, and I said, oh, wow, wait a minute.
Yeah. So all those similarities.
The ancestors are working here.
Yeah, I can see how you feel like.
Yeah, they
this
brought
is
us
meant
together.
to
The
be,
ancestors
yeah.
and the Creator
That's
brought us
that's
together.
So beautiful. That's
Yeah.
actually so nice.
And a lot of people didn't, because like I said, she made a transition, and 4 months later, I'm meeting her, and I'm getting with her, and everybody say, "Hey, wait a minute, you need to slow down." But
No, someone is meant to
Right.
be. It's meant to be.
Yeah,
Like
God's
you
in
know,
control.
You know, yeah.
It's been beautiful.
Yeah.
You know how in marriage they say 7 years, if you can get past the 7-year mark, you can, finish the race. but we haven't had bad days,
No.
or it's just calm and
Calm.
peaceful. You know, where we respect each other. I come from a Christian background. He's from a Muslim background. And that doesn't even like affect who we are. Just maturity and communication has allowed us to just bond. You know, most women say, a Christian woman would say, I'm not dating a Muslim. Baby, this is the best Muslim ever. You know, and he treats me better than my pastor, preacher husbands. You know, I see him pray more than I've seen them pray. You know, so I appreciate, and I was open enough to receive what God wanted me to have. And I think that so many people can miss the blessing because it's not packaged the way they think that it should be.
That is loud. That is so loud because literally today I posted the lyrics from a song, and it was something about, oh, I treat her right, da 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 da. So I was like, God, when? And someone responded, and he was like, are you even listening to God? Because he's been like applying pressure.
Mm.
And then, you know, I hope he doesn't listen to this episode. And on my close friends, I was like, if God sends me in the right mind, but he's under 6 foot, I'm not opening my eyes.
But that could be the biggest blessing for you. And I think a lot of young women,
Not him, but yeah, I
they're
feel you.
looking they're looking for a type, and they're closed off to another type that might rock their world in so many different ways.
For sure, for sure.
And be that blessing, but
Yeah.
because they can't see beyond the physical, they can't get
I
to
mean,
the
but look at
blessing.
Hunni Bunni, please. Like, it's easy to say that. Hunni Bunni is an attractive man, you
And
know.
he is. So I was always used to dating tall, dark, and bald head. Like that was my thing. And my oldest daughter, who's 33, she said, Mom, I think you should try something different. She said, and I did. I heard her words, because he has gray hair. I've never dated a man with hair and then gray hair.
Really? So,
So-
I'm such a hair babe.
Yes,
Yeah, like
so-
bald is like the lowest on mine.
Oh no, I love bald. So
Really?
that was different for me. But I said, shit, I'm gonna try it, and I liked it, and it's
Yeah.
been great. You know,
I mean, yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying.
No, I get it.
But
I get
that's
it.
why a lot of young women, no offense, are not married or getting married who want to be married. I'm
I
just
mean, no,
saying,
but
and
the
I'm
thing
gonna mind
is-
my business.
No, but it's giving tea, because I remember I saw someone say they're not your type, they're your pattern, and I was like, woo, you know,
Say it again.
they're not your type, they're your pattern.
Oh, okay.
I was like, T. And that's facts for sure. I definitely believe in, having an open mind and
Right.
giving people, that space. But
Right.
at the same time, like I say, like my own spec is like a tier of like 5. So I don't like
Okay.
one look.
Okay.
I like 5 different, but you have
Okay.
to just be attractive. I'm sorry. Because
Okay.
you,
Okay.
like you have to look like really, really good.
Okay.
Maybe not really. Okay, actually, really.
So, but it goes back to that saying. You got to make love to the mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
if you got the mind, you have everything.
I'll
Right.
see your penis first, but
Okay. Does it have to look a certain way?
the penis.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a type of penis.
Okay,
Really?
explain it.
Wow.
Let's hear that. I want
Really?
penis talk. Yes. What type is the penis?
So,
hook?
Wow.
I prefer no hook. Actually, I like them really like straight
Okay.
to the point, thick, long. Just like the thing is, obviously they don't all have to look the same, but
Okay.
yeah, like it has to. You can tell when you see them how it will feel a lot of times,
Okay.
and so I need it to look like that. But it's not even just about how it looks; it's how
Okay.
you use
So
it.
Okay.
uh,
Yes, honey.
I'm listening to see what your type was.
No,
I guess I was the
didn't
type,
have a
huh?
type.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
have a type of
I wanna-
penis.
Okay.
Long as it worked and it felt good, that's all that matters.
Wow, that's
So
for
it didn't
showing
have to
herself
look
right
the
there.
Yeah,
same.
no. So it doesn't. Obviously, it's not like if he's attractive and tall and fine, and then I see his penis and I'm like, whoa, this is not my type. I'm like, go away. But obviously, there's certain ones where you see, you already know there's only so much you can do. We're just not gonna be a match.
It's too big.
No, I would rather have too big.
Really?
Yes.
It can't go all the way in. It can ruin your inside.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Wow.
I'll take
Your
it.
vagina must go deep.
Okay.
Okay. Shit, you know something now.
So, but it's funny because a lot of women actually don't like bigger penises. They prefer like medium.
Yeah.
Even like the smaller ones.
The average size penis is 3.8 inches.
And then
So
they
what
say
do
the
you
vagina,
like? 10, 12? No, seriously.
No, 8 up. Yeah. 8 up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
8 up. But it's not
I'm
even.
gonna have to
it's
go
not
home and
even-
measure it. Like,
Yeah,
to
so
see
it's
what
not
8 is. What
even-
is 8 like?
It's not even. So let's say like from here to like here.
Okay, that's not that bad.
Yeah, because this is like an inch. So,
Okay.
so like from here to here.
Because I'm thinking you want something
All right,
like
I
right
think it's
here,
time.
and I'm
come
like,
I think it's
on.
no,
time for
I
me to
mean
go.
like right here. Like I've
thing
seen
is,
a horse penis
I will
before
try.
on a man. Nah,
I will never back down from your challenge for sure.
No,
Like, I
no
will always-
challenges
I
for
will-
me. I value my insides, even though they're gone now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it's muscular. If you're well lubed, you always adjust. And when you're having sex with the same person like over and
Yeah,
over
I
and
mean,
over,
yeah, you adjust
you
to that
accommodate.
size.
Yeah.
But then what if you like get
Or
someone
transition
else?
someone
Yeah,
small. I
with
mean,
a smaller.
but you know
then
the thing
think-
is the vagina still always like goes back. But yeah, I
Well,
think it has.
No, some
From
women
our
have stretched
perspective-
penises. Go ahead, baby.
We like small, tight vaginas.
Yeah, but it's muscular.
Or we call them
so-
coochies.
Yeah. Do your Kegels and
Oh,
Oh, I do
but
mine.
As long as
yeah.
they're not dry. We like them wet.
Nobody should even be having sex with a wet vagina, honestly. And if she's dry, first of all, there's always lube.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's also a lot of people skip the foreplay, as you said. They're not
Right,
even-
right. That's
Yeah.
true.
So they're not even trying to wait. It's just like, oh, I'm hard. I'm gonna
Let me just
go in and
insert
stuff,
it.
so.
I think that's selfish.
Oh no, of course. You know, a lot of men do have
Like,
selfish sex.
dude.
It's like, are you doing it for your pleasure or are you doing it for?
I feel that most men are doing it for their pleasure
Yeah.
as opposed to pleasing the woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. In your age bracket, do you feel that?
I think the needle is beginning to shift.
Okay.
But traditionally and primarily, there's so many people who started out with partners who were only focused on their own pleasure.
Okay.
And because, you also have that thing where people have this mindset that women is something you give to men. And so they're not even focused on female pleasure. They're just trying to bust a nut at all costs.
Right.
And a lot of times, people are not also like direct with sex, so they're always, being slick and stuff. So it's like, okay, if you had to butter her up, maybe get her some drink, she's like, okay, I have to act fast before she changes her mind, type stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I would say it's a mixed bag because there's still some women who don't even believe that they should enjoy sex or they think it's
Okay.
painful because they didn't have partners who understood their
Right.
bodies as well. And then you still have, I always say, the head imbalance in the streets is still tilted. Like men are getting more head than men are giving women head.
You think so?
Yeah, they definitely are. They
Oh
definitely
wow,
are.
men in America, that's all they talk about.
How they
is
don't get
eating-
head?
No,
Really?
it's eating vagina and ass.
Really?
Do they eat ass in Africa? no, I'm curious.
Don't kill me.
No,
yes.
no, seriously, they
no,
do.
they do.
I don't know.
They do.
That's the thing in
No,
America.
I need that as a clue. Hashtag, do they use ass in Africa? Yes. No, they do.
Okay.
No, they definitely do. But
Okay.
it's a mixed bag. It's
Okay.
definitely down to preferences as well because, men like their women, their asses be eaten. Women like their women, their asses be eaten as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
But it's relative to the person. So it's not everyone that's with it.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
If a man allowed you to put your finger in his ass, would you think he was gay?
Of course not. No,
Okay.
I would not. I always say like, no body part is tied to any sexuality. So
Okay.
it's all nerve endings and neurons. Same way, some men like their nipples being sucked as well. And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
if that's what
I
you're
guess
into.
you can equate that to that, but most women that I know would feel like, oh no.
Yeah, no, of course, because people associate gay sex with anal penetration.
Right.
And so they would say, oh, yeah, he's probably gay. But it's like, no, his own G spot just happens to be there.
So what about a dildo?
Yes. maybe not. Hold on.
Oh, no, I'm just
So
curious.
maybe the things that's like a running joke on
Have
this
you ever pegged a
podcast.
man?
No, that's what I was
Okay,
about to say.
okay.
That's a running joke on this podcast where I always say I want to peg. I
Do
actually want to peg
you?
a man. Yes, I actually want to peg a man.
Okay, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I want to.
So
I want to.
So I'm old school again. What does that mean? Peg.
You know, she put on a strap on and do it to him in his butt.
Oh wow.
You said, "Oh
I
wow."
mean, for me as a 67-year-old man,
Mm-hmm.
and we've had this conversation before, I'm not gonna enjoy that, like that, because I might like it, and then you might turn me gay.
No.
If I go start and let you do all that kind of stuff, I might like it. Then you lost out. I might be going looking for a man.
Well,
You ever thought about it like that?
I mean, it's possible, but then it's okay to be bisexual. Like, even if you like that and you
No,
thought,
not
oh,
for
okay, I
me.
wanted a man. Which is fair. I mean, 67. It's okay. It's okay. Like,
No,
I wouldn't be.
I'm not going there.
I wouldn't be preaching to turn you, but I
Turn
think
you
that,
out.
yeah, I wouldn't even say turn you
I'm
in
glad
terms of
I
your
got that
sexuality,
terminology right
but
now.
like
Pig.
pegging, exactly.
Pegging,
But
okay.
it's more like you allowing yourself experience all that you can while that you're here, and not thinking that that means I'm gay because she can use and that's why you find a lot of men in the ER because they end up you putting all sorts like that. It happens all the
Right.
time. They put all sorts of things up their butts because
They
they can't
do.
tell their partners. They put mop sticks, they put bottles, they put
Right.
bulbs, they put corn cobs, all sorts of stuff. And it's like
Oh, wow.
they enjoy it, but then they don't have the safe enough space to express what their desires to their partners. And I think that another thing that always happens is once a man says he's bisexual, everyone's like, oh yeah, just gay, you're gay, you're gay. But it's like, no,
Okay.
bisexual people exist. Like if you can accept a woman's bisexual, maybe they just like the sensation of being
Right.
touched regardless of who it is. It doesn't have to come in this form. You're
Right.
touching me where it feels good. I'm enjoying it and that's fine.
I feel that there's enough people who want to experience different things, but that's where communication comes in.
Yes, most definitely.
In the beginning, like, hey, I like to do this or I like to do that. That way, that person on the opposite end says, hey, I'm not into that, or okay, I want to experience that. But people are so afraid to communicate openly
True.
their true desires. But you have to communicate. I think I might have drilled him about all types of sexual acts and things because I wanted to know where he was at sexually. That way, we can see if we connected or would connect in that way.
Yeah.
And
We're not pegging here, baby.
yeah, like still, I want him to suck my toes. And he won't suck my toes. And I'd be like, babe, just suck them. And he's like, no, I'm not going to suck
Wait,
your toes.
you're not gonna say why?
Huh?
Why?
Like, I just want him to lick all in between them. But he says no. So
Honey,
I'm okay.
honey bunny, why would you suck her toes?
I think it's time for me to go now.
He's like, don't put me on the spot. But is there anything he asked you to do that you weren't doing before that you adjusted to because of him?
No, I think
No.
we were just sexually compatible from the beginning. And I think we've had great sex and we still do after, 4 or 5 years? Like, we have fun in the bed, and we cuddle a lot. And I love cuddling with him because it's a safe space and we hug each other the whole night.
Aw, that's so
Yeah,
cute.
so it's just beautiful.
I can imagine how great for your blood pressure is that would be like on a mutual level because one of the markers of a happy life universally is relationship satisfaction.
Yes.
It actually helps people live longer and be happier, and also like a great sex life is also tied into relationship satisfaction.
Yes.
So that's amazing, and that's very beautiful to see.
Mm.
But I'll be
Yeah.
sending a little peg. I'll send a little strap on. I just be like for Honey
I
Bunny.
couldn't
Maybe
imagine.
on your 69th birthday. Yes.
I couldn't imagine me coming
Mm.
out with a strap on telling
Yeah,
him
he's
to
just
bend
like
over.
he's like I'm not bending over for no one. So so those are also the barriers that people have as well because men will be like, so what position? Because even when people talk about eating ass,
Mhm.
they're like, okay, so as a man, what position would he stay and stuff? And then there are people who are like, oh, I don't want his ass up in the air.
Okay.
I wanted. Some people are like, no, but I can't open my legs like this, and it's like it's so stressful when you
Doggy
bring
style.
when you bring or like it's like sit on my face, but it's like
Yeah. I like that.
right
Uh-huh.
exactly, but it's like you have people that are like, oh, I can't do that. Their masculinity feels like
Okay.
threatened because like, oh, those are feminine positions, and it's like, right, sex is like that's one place where who you are outside in the real world in
Right.
the bedroom, it doesn't. I wouldn't say it doesn't matter, but it's somewhere where you can be who you want to be, and you should be able to do that without judgment.
I agree. But if I was into certain things, I would only do that with a spouse
Mm-hmm.
because people will take what they do with you
Mm-hmm.
and then share it with the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think everyone should experience that with you for others to share. Does that make sense?
It definitely makes sense from a more traditional
Okay.
standpoint.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's safer, obviously. Like there's certain things where, even with sex as well,
Okay.
when you have one partner, your sex life is almost
Mhm.
incremental because you're more comfortable. You
Right.
do that, and then sometimes, so obviously with a partner, you're more likely to not use protection. Maybe you
Right.
have birth control, all of that stuff. It's a more controlled environment.
Right.
But the thing is, I tend not to tell people, oh, don't only do this if you're in a committed thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because one, not everyone is going to be blessed enough to have a committed partner.
That's true.
And, you should be able to have sex regardless. And we're working on removing this shame from sex. And
Well,
so,
like pegging, right?
mhm.
If I was a man, I
Excuse
would
me.
not let just any
Anybody
woman
peg
peg me
me. For
because
sure,
she's
for sure.
right. So that's what I'm saying.
No,
like
I
that.
get it. I think it definitely is a trust type of thing.
Yeah.
So even when I say people like, obviously you should have sex with whoever you want,
Yeah,
but your safety
absolutely.
should always be important. So, and when I say safety, not just like physical safety, your emotional safety, your mental
Right.
safety, there should be some vetting of some sort. Except you're just like,
Yes, vetting.
Except you're like, oh yeah, it's a one night stand. And for some people, it's casual enough where they peg on the first day and it doesn't mean anything. But we're also trying to move to a time where, if you're coming to me telling me, oh, I did that to her, I did that to her, I will be looking at you crazy,
Right,
not the person. Because, like,
exactly.
why are you violating someone's
Right,
privacy, right? So we're
right.
trying to move away from having shame or, like, hush, hush, like, oh, this should only be done, within this
Okay.
and that. But it's always relative to anyone. I always say, like, when your liberation is really your choice.
So I'm gonna say this, and this is what I teach anyone, especially people of status.
Mm-hmm.
You only do certain things with people who have something to lose. You can't do it with everyone because a person can ruin your whole entire life, what you've built, and destroy it with one thing. So you make sure that that person that you're whatevering with has something to lose too. That way, if they come out after you, they can lose something too. Because most people who have something to lose, they don't want to lose their thing. So that's why I'm saying you have to be careful,
No, of course,
like
definitely.
who you do certain things with, because I've had, men try to do this or that, and you know what I'm saying? So you have to be very select and very careful when you open up your world to someone. That's why when you go to like sex parties, right? Everyone signs an NDA.
Yeah.
Phones are taken, things
Yeah,
like that to
yeah.
protect everyone in the room.
Of course.
Because those are people who are notable. And they don't need those type of things getting out for other people to see. So
yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
No, you're making perfect sense. I just think about it from all angles where
Okay.
it's like, for sure you should always vet, like as I said, you should
Yes.
always vet, who you have sex with. You should decide, but at the same time, there's also space for people who are really, casual with it as well.
Right.
And even in those spaces, yes, you should protect yourself. And I always tell people, like, the first time, obviously, you can't expect a stranger to protect you. It's
Right.
it's almost the same thing when it comes to like sending nudes. There's some people who say, don't ever send it nude, or don't send anything with your face. And I'm like, you can't really tell people not to do that,
Right.
because they still will. It's just more about what do we have in place? What do you have
Okay.
as your own vetting? Okay, you're like, if I send a nude, maybe I won't put my face. Maybe it'll be a
Okay.
disappearing picture. Or, if I put this out there, it might come out there. So you're
Right.
aware. So
Yeah.
you're aware. So it's like, this is the risk, but I'm not going to allow fear or mistrust of this person to
Okay.
stop me from expressing myself fully.
So you
Yes.
you you had a lot of trust and faith in me, huh?
Oh
When
yeah,
we
because
first
you
met.
got pictures. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got pictures of me
Yeah.
that he still look at every day.
That's so cute. You're
Yeah,
so cute.
yeah. She, I,
He-
the breast, she sent me a picture. What? As soon as I got back to
the
Chicago,
US.
the
Yeah.
U.S., she sent me this picture of her breast.
And they
I
look
mean,
good,
well,
didn't
her
they?
and the breast is smiling. Yeah,
So
and I
how
still
long
look at it
from
today.
when you met? How long did it take you to have sex with him?
3, 4
About
months.
3 or 4
3 or 4
months,
months.
and
Yeah,
we
4
had
months.
sex in a
too
hotel
long.
in Philly.
Yeah, too long.
Too long.
I was willing them in.
Yeah.
I was willing them in.
She's like, I just have a titty. That's
Yeah.
all. That's enough for
Put
now.
this in your mouth, baby. Play with this. Sniff this.
Wow, not the teasing. She was like, long game, long game. Okay,
I was.
respect it. I respect it. I think sometimes, having that slow burn is great. And thankfully, it didn't end in tears.
Well, it gave us a chance to
Get to know each other.
know each other, exactly. And I appreciate that. Yeah.
We really did, because I think out of all my sexual encounters, I think I made him wait. Yeah, I made him wait. I decided I was going to do something different, and that's why I made him wait. I wanted to know who he was, and I wanted him to get to know me, not the physical, but the mind.
Yeah.
And we did. So.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. And that makes sense, especially at the point in time where you were in life, with your journey and all of that stuff. And and that's the thing about sex. Like, there are some times when you feel like, okay, I need to take a step back here.
Right.
I'm just gonna
Because me at my age again,
you're just like,
I'll say, well, I mean, if we had had sex as soon as we met, we probably wouldn't have been together.
Yeah, he tells me that all the
Because
time. I wouldn't have married you.
Yeah, because my thinking is, well, if she do that with me, she do
doing
that
that
with
with
everybody. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
Yeah, he tells me
That's
that
old-
all the
That's that old school
time.
Yes.
thinking. Yeah.
He does tell
Yes,
me
that's
that all the
old school
time.
thinking. Yeah.
And I tell him
Yeah.
that's wrong because I could look at you like, well, you had sex with me the first day, and I don't want to
Exactly.
be
And you're
with
just
you.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But that's that male chauvinist.
It is. It is. It
Yeah.
is. And the thing is, it's
Mindset,
something
right.
that actually still happens
Yes.
till today,
Right.
even with younger
Yes.
men as well,
Right.
where they're just like, yeah, she probably did that with da 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 da. And then you could be like, oh no, this is the first time I did it on the first day. And they're just like, yeah, right, I'm sure
Yeah.
you know. And it's hella weird because it's like,
Who
why
else
do
is she pegging?
right?
So I have a question. Do you believe in polyamory?
Yes.
Okay,
do.
I love that.
I definitely do.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely believe in all different types of love styles. It just
Okay.
depends on what works for you and like your
Okay.
person. And I always say I wish more people would embrace it because you have a very high percentage of people in monogamous relationships cheating because
Yeah, and
they're
that's
just always
why I like
cheating.
it.
Yes, because it's like, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's easier
Okay.
because, even with polyamory, like it depends on the design as well. Because,
Okay.
some, I read this thing about polyamorous couples where the men were saying the women have a one penis policy.
Okay.
And it's like, they can have as many partners as they want, but if the
Okay.
women want to have extra partners, they can only sleep in one man. But then all women, and it's how you
wow.
find some people in open relationships, but the openness, the men only are comfortable if the women have extra women because they're not threatened by women
Right,
and all.
right.
So people still try to pick like the easy ways to do polyamory, but polyamory is something where a lot of communication has to be
Yeah.
happening,
Yeah.
depending on like the design. Like I am someone who I'm not gonna do love in multiple places. Like I
Okay.
call myself emotionally monogamous, physically
Okay.
polyamorous. So it's like
Okay.
yeah, so it's like I'll have my honey bunny, and then if
Okay,
you want to
okay.
be like, oh yeah, I'm on holiday, da 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 da, but I
Okay.
don't want to be managing like emotions in, yeah, you can respect your other partners, you can be
Right.
friends, but like you're not going to be like my partner person.
Your
So like I'm
person.
more like primary partner,
Okay.
and then, like secondary.
Well,
type.
that's just like in Islam, a man have up to 5 wives.
Four, yeah.
Yeah.
Four.
Well, I
But
tell
wait,
him.
but those ones, that's more like polygyny. Basically, it's like polygamy. The women are not allowed to have extras. It's
No,
only the man.
no.
Exactly. And no, so I'm not really with
But
that.
I'm not with it either, because one is enough for me.
Yeah, I would have to be the
That's-
primary if he had other
No,
wives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My main
all
character
these
syndrome is
multiple
honestly
women
too
trying
much
to satisfy all these multiple women, not just sexually, but mentally and children. Oh no.
He couldn't handle
I
that.
don't
He
need
would
all
get
that.
flustered.
Yeah, I don't
No,
need
it
all
definitely
that.
is a lot of work. And you find a lot of polygamous, not even the couples, the people who were raised in polygamous families, you find a lot of them being like, no, I'm going to force myself to do monogamy because of how their childhoods were like really stressful and stuff.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah.
it can be really messy. There's politics. God help you if, the breadwinner passes
Right.
away. So we have people scrambling for, property. And it just sounds like a lot to me. Like,
Okay.
like I wouldn't even want to, I don't think I can be someone's, if I'm going to be someone's second wife, I don't know, I don't think I would like love them. Like I would
Okay.
love them, but it would be one of those ones where, maybe I have my own house, I'm living away from you.
Okay,
You
okay.
come sometimes, we
But
whatever,
isn't
whatever.
it in
Okay.
African societies that the main wife picks the second, third, and fourth wife?
I guess it depends on the culture, but like
Yeah.
to be honest, even in Africa, you find that religion has really changed a lot of stuff. So a lot of our culture is really offshoots of either Christianity or like
Yeah.
Islam and stuff. And people just use I'm allowed to have 4 wives, but they never
Okay.
really do it the right way.
Okay.
Some will just come and tell you, by the way, this is the new wife and stuff.
Oh,
And then,
wow.
yeah, so you find that a lot of people are heartbroken or like damaged, or
Okay.
you find that some start off like, oh, it's just going to be 2 of us. Then they start to get pressure, or they get super wealthy. And I think that's one thing I've noticed. I think the wealthier men get, the more women they think that they should have.
Okay.
This is regardless of like culture or
Why is
country
that?
and
Why is
stuff.
that?
So I think it's just one of those things where people see women and sex as, or men see women as sex as part of like the enjoyment of life.
Okay.
So it's like, imagine if I was making $100,000 a year, now I'm making $1 million. I can
Right.
fly babes from Brazil and this and that. So
Yeah.
it's like, why would I just stay with this person even though I love her, when I can access, Instagram bad bitches and this one and so even in Nigeria you
Because
see.
you love her.
Yeah, tell them please.
So, what type of man are you looking for or wanting?
Woo, not
Or
me on the
woman?
spot.
Or woman?
Definitely a man for sure.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm shy. What am I even looking right now?
Okay.
Damn, this all. Wow. What kind of man am I looking for? I don't want people to start sliding into my DMs, but I'm not looking for you. But leave me alone. But first of all, obviously, someone who I'm attracted to.
Okay.
So I always say, like for me, it's the 3-point, system here, here, and here.
Okay.
So I'm
I like that. I'm start
so
using that.
So
So
obviously,
it got to be an 8-inch brother, right?
so it's like, first of all, am I attracted to you? The thing is, I will always be. I'm someone who is very, when people say men are visual, I'm a very visual person.
Okay.
I like how people look.
Yes.
So how you look is very important to me. Ideally I'd be like, oh yeah, 6'4", da da da. It doesn't always happen. I fall in love
Okay.
with someone who's like, well, I'm 6 feet. No, you're 5'11". But like, okay. So I have to be physically attracted to
Okay.
you. Obviously, mentally, I feel like I'm at that point where yes, a mental connection is important. I want someone who's like my friend. I can talk
Okay.
to you 6 hours a day, 10 hours about anything. I can be like,
Aw.
yo, there was a roach on the floor. Take a picture.
wow.
That
Okay,
kind of like.
okay,
So I'm that kind of
okay,
person
okay,
who like
okay.
I like daily updates, and all of that stuff. And then obviously like like I
Right,
said,
right.
the physical, but then my heart as well. I don't really like people a lot. Like I get tired very quickly. But once in a
Okay.
while, there's always that one that feels very cosmic. Like, when it
Okay.
feels like I can't even explain exactly what. Like, I can tell you all the reasons why I'm attracted to you,
Okay.
but it just feels like there's an extra like cosmic pull. But also something that I found is really important to me now is I would I used to think that the way I thought is like how the average person thinks,
Okay.
but I'm finding out that, or I'm realizing that, especially in the Nigerian context, I'm more liberal than the next guy, and
Mm.
so we have to align in terms of values.
Okay.
You can't be on the opposite side, and we're just not gonna we're
Okay.
just not gonna.
When you say the opposite side, could you be more clear?
So, for instance, now with what I do, sex, sexuality, believing in feminism,
Okay.
being pro LGBTQ. So
Okay.
more like left,
Okay.
right?
Gotcha.
Exactly. So if you're more right, if you're transphobic or you're homophobic or
Okay.
you have some traditional values, it's like I understand why society is the way that it is. A lot of
Okay.
people have that patriarchal mindset. Some people would even see what I'm doing and be like, oh, she's too sexual. I can't be with her. She just because she's
Okay.
talking about sex, she's probably sleeping with everyone. That kind of thing.
Okay.
So if you're
Gotcha.
someone who obviously isn't smart enough to
A
understand that,
limited mindset.
exactly.
Okay.
So having an open mind, you don't necessarily have to be exactly like me,
Yes.
but you have to understand what I'm doing and be like my biggest fan. Like I have to feel safe,
Okay.
with you and stuff. And then another huge thing is like being healed or being self-aware or having kickstarted your journey in some way, because I'm very big on emotions and
Okay.
talking about it, and I've gone on my, and I'm still
Yes.
consistently healing, but I know where my own origin story is from, or like the
Right.
pain or the grief I've had in life and how it manifests in my relationship. And if you're someone who, like, obviously, like, I'm trained, so I've, even before then, I've always been that therapist friend. So imagine having a partner that I can see like all your traumas, I can see all of that stuff, and you're not willing to work on that, and you're stuck there.
Yes.
We're always gonna clash, and then you don't want to be that person who is always trying to fix someone or force them on their own
Yeah.
journey. So you have to have started it in some way, or you're open, or you're willing, and all of that stuff. So for me, it's like there's a deep, box.
But that's a good thing.
No, for sure.
Because I did the work, the healing journey, through therapy and with a life coach simultaneously before we met. Because hurt people, and
Exactly.
I didn't want to hurt the next person that I would be in a relationship with. So as I'm meeting different men and women here for matchmaking, right? So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Do you have a little Devontae for me?
Look.
Before you go
but
there,
look,
let
I
me
would have.
let me ask you a question.
Wait a minute, baby. Wait a minute. So you talk about this 8-inch? Do I just ask him like, is your penis big? Like, I don't know. Is it 8 inches? Could you take a picture with the ruler? Like, I don't know how I could do that part.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, even as a matchmaker, I think that there's only so much you can do.
Right,
You can only
right.
introduce, and then it's like, just bring him to me. I'll do the
Right.
rest. And if it doesn't work out, it's like, hey, at least you tried.
Yeah, but I don't want my name on the line. So I'm like, girl, he had a little pinky. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah, so it's so funny because at the end of the day, like, talking about penis sizes is one of those things that's kind of dicey because you can't really body shame, and it's like no one chooses,
You're not shaming. Some
Yeah,
people just
no one.
not
Yeah, exactly. No one
as
chooses
endowed.
what their physiology is like. But I
Right.
think in that area, like, it's like a preference, and
Right,
there are people
right.
who prefer like smaller penises. It's just one of those things that's really awkward to ask. And I always say, like, there's that prayer you do before the first time you see a nigga's penis, because you're just like, God, please, let it be. I wanna sometimes, every few now and then, you be like,
But I
And the thing
always
is-
thought it wasn't the size; it's how you use it.
I think it's a mixed bag.
Okay.
Honestly, I think it's a mixed bag because for sure, the penis size definitely determines the positions that you do. So
Right.
there's some people who can handle, and if you obviously have an ass as well, there's some people who can handle doggy better, and there's
Right.
somewhere you're better off riding, like,
Right.
because you can control like the pressure and like where it goes and stuff. And two, there's some people who are too big that you can't even have a quickie because, like, even if you get like moisturized, you're all wet and stuff, like, it just goes in and it just packs all the moisture and comes back out.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, so you You find your ways. You find your ways. You adjust.
Okay, you
according
adjust to the situation.
Exactly. You
Okay,
know,
okay.
you find what works for you. I guess. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you must have.
Have you ever been in love?
Yes.
Okay, I was just curious.
Oh, of course I have.
You been hurt?
Of course. Whew.
Okay. Okay.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, I was gonna say all women and men probably have had.
Well, she seems like she's got her stuff together. It's
She
a
does
young
have her
lady,
stuff
and
together.
she
Yeah.
hasn't really met nobody that she's been in love with yet.
Oh, I have. I have.
Okay.
But yeah, like I just feel, I just feel like we were just not aligned in the way that we needed to be, and so I just had to just
Cut
exit
it.
that situation. and
Got
stuff.
you.
Yeah. I think at this age, especially because
Okay, and how old are you?
oh, I'm 30. I just turned 30.
Okay, 30,
Like a
okay.
couple
Oh, you're a
weeks ago.
baby. Oh my God. We have children
Can I have
older
you
than
guys
you.
here all the time tell me I'm a baby? Yes. So I think at this age, you know, this is typically the time where, and it has been happening since I was like 24, 25, where people would think that, oh, because they're dating me now, I want to like settle down and I want to
Okay.
get married. And so many people are in that like, oh, is this, if I'm dating you, obviously it has to be like a serious relationship, or is this like my last bus stop type stuff? And I don't typically have that same view when it comes to like being in relationships. Like
Okay.
the thing is, I like to transition to something at the end of that phase. So if I meet someone, some people meet and then they're dating after a month. They're like, oh, I'm boyfriend and girlfriend, but I don't. We'll talk, we'll do all of that stuff. So it's when it's like, okay, we're more or less already dating, then I'm ready to like jump. So I like a natural transition. Like it makes sense because we feel it and all of that stuff. But then sometimes you can feel all of that, but then I've had situations where they wanted to get married, they wanted to have kids. I was not ready for that.
You sound like one of our youngest.
Yeah, so
She
it's just
doesn't
like
want no marriage.
exactly.
No
So
kids.
it's like it's not like I don't want to get married. I always say I can get married tomorrow, but it has to be designed in the way that I want.
Okay.
I don't want, someone that thinks that like it's like this is me, and if you can't accept me like this,
Right.
don't think that you're gonna now put that wife cloak on me. Like, oh yeah, now you're a wife.
Yeah,
put
you
your
can't
titties
dress
out.
like.
Now
Oh, we
you're a
went
wife.
through that. He tried that with me.
Exactly.
And I told him, if you want a woman with her breast, and you need to go to the mosque and get one, because these are going to be out.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's like you were attracted to what you saw.
Right.
So it's what you said about how he lets you be who you are, and you're growing and expanding.
Right.
You should be my safe space, right? The same way, you with me, you're definitely going to grow. You're definitely going to expand. We should complement each other.
Yes.
But I should always be who I am. If anyone makes me feel stifled in any way, I'm out.
You sound
out.
like me.
Yeah. So, so that's just it. It's like, it has to be. And in this climate, you would think that many people are like that, but it's just not the case. And then sometimes they might be like that, but you're just not attracted to them.
You just need a confident man.
And, and
a very
exactly. It's
confident
like
man.
you have to have someone who trusts you as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Because there are people who it's like, oh, it's not that I don't trust you, but I know that so many men are going to be talking to you. So it's like, so if you know that I love you and I've said this, like, why are you worrying about all of that?
So, Hunni Bunni, how do you feel? Because I deal with a lot of men. How do you feel when the phone's ringing and I'm talking and all that kind of stuff?
I don't feel it. I look at it being business.
Okay.
I count the dollars.
Yeah, he's all about money, child. How much you make? So, yeah, okay.
No, you would be surprised.
I'm confident in. Well, I know she's not gonna do nothing.
I'm a germaphobe,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to do nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And she knows that I'm not gonna do anything.
yeah.
That's so cute. So you guys are fully monogamous. You don't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Now, women flirt with him, but I
Yeah.
tell him if he cheats, get a rich bitch so we could both pimp her. Because I need some shit too. So don't get nobody broke. You know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, make sure she got plenty money for both of us. I need a G-Wagon.
I mean,
I'm just
valid.
saying.
No, valid.
Yeah. If
She
you
said
going,
valid point.
yeah,
I mean,
like-
valid point. If you're gonna do it,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
get something
Yeah,
out of it. At least.
yeah,
That go both
together,
ways,
not
right.
just you.
Oh my god! But
yeah.
so that's also something that happens where people say if you had a partner who cheated,
Mm-hmm.
would you prefer them to cheat up or cheat down?
Oh, I just
Oh,
said it.
up.
Up, baby.
Always
Yeah.
up.
Oh.
For me, it's
Up.
like always
Oh.
up.
Yeah,
It's like
up.
please, you can't have cheated, and
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like
right. That's
like,
embarrassing.
Yeah, how
Like,
dare you?
her?
Exactly. Let me be like, oh, okay, fair enough. You shouldn't have, but like, oh, fair. I see what you saw in her.
Right.
Because sometimes men just go some places and I'm just like, so you're attracted to her and you're attracted to me. Wow, okay.
Like, we don't even go together.
Yeah, exactly. So now your taste is questionable.
A lot
and
of
I just
women
can't.
like him, though. A lot of women, they, stare at him and all that.
No, I mean, I can see why, like I said, he's attractive and, he has hair. You know? It be some of the men in my age group, their hairlines are already here. And it's like,
that's
you're lying. It's all your lies. They're lying so much. They're losing all their hair. So I can see, and he's very calm as well. So he definitely does have a calming spirit. So I can see why people would be attracted to you.
It is what
We're
it
really
is.
lucky, and I love that.
Thank you.
But what do you
More than an hour.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But what do
You
you
didn't
tell
kick us
me?
off early.
But what do you tell me if I cheat on you?
I just told you.
No, what did you say?
What part? Tell
About
me.
how you going,
Oh, I said I'm going to shoot him.
Well, I mean,
I did say that. My pistol is in my night drawer. So I did tell him, you don't want this. You don't want this. And it's loaded.
I'm screaming.
And, it's one in the chamber. It stays in there.
Hunni Bunni, if she cheats, what will you do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
Probably,
Go crazy.
Probably.
You seem like you would forgive her, though.
No. Let me tell you,
She got
he's
to kick
calm,
rocks.
baby.
She got to kick rocks.
No. He's calm, but then there's the extreme.
No, I don't play
So
that. I'm not going to do it to you, so if you do it to
He's
me.
like, I don't play
right,
that
No,
shit.
I don't
so
play that.
Fair.
I would
Yeah.
just
be fair among your
move
boundaries.
Yeah, she had to
before
move
I
on.
would tell him
Right.
anything.
Oh.
Like
But
I
that's the
wouldn't
same way here.
I wouldn't tell him
wouldn't
in the
cheat.
house.
I would get out the marriage before.
Before you do
Yeah,
that.
before I do that, yeah.
Nigerian men, oh, please. Nigerian men, look at your role model, please. Because I mean, there are definitely some marriages here where you see like the older men are, they seem still cute in their bubble, but the average Nigerian zaddy is out there with the younger, out there with the younger girls.
But
and, all that
I can get the same thing from her that I can get with a young girl, even probably more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just communications, and as far as sex, we just communicate what you want and what you need, and vice versa.
For sure, but it's that thing we said about how a lot of men have this thing where they can't do certain things with their wives. I can't be
he
as
can do
nasty.
anything he wants.
They have that mentality,
Yeah,
right?
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Why is that though?
I don't, because I think that if they come to their wife and they ask their wives to do specific things, their wife's going to be looking at them like, you out here doing this, and where did this come from? Because if you start the relationship out doing those things, then it's okay.
Right.
But if you get into the relationship, say you're in a relationship, like we've been together 5 years, and all of a sudden, I come out and say, okay, I want you to, what's that y'all talking about? Peg me. Then there's some questions there.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
So where'd you pick that up at?
Because you know your partner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you've been with someone for a number of years, you know them and you know what they like, what they don't like. And to come out with something new, you are like...
But the thing is, I find that some people think that they know their partner, but a lot of people actually don't.
You're right.
True.
A lot
You're
of people
right.
actually, it's the same way up till now. You have men hiding when they watch porn,
Right.
they're actual kings. Because, when you were saying how in the beginning of a relationship, it's good to say all the things that you like. But I was going to say that many people can't do that unless they're comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, so they will tell you, oh, I like this, I like this, just to see. And then they start to shift the needle. And then if you're, oh, I don't like this, they'll just go somewhere else.
Right.
And that's the thing about sexual desire as well. Like, people always almost find an outlet for that.
I don't understand the going to the. She always trying to get me to go to
Yeah,
strip
because
club.
I want him to go to the strip club with me.
And I'll be saying, why?
Don't you like
You
booty?
can strip it. Yeah, I love it. I love booty.
But you like familiar booty.
Huh? I'm like, why am I going to go to this club and put all this money? So some of them you can't even touch. See, that's my problem. If I see it, I want to touch it. And why am I going to
You
go
want
there?
to do more than touch
Yeah,
it.
yeah, do all that. Yeah. So if I can't do that, all I'm going to do is go there and look at it and give you money to look at it. I give her that money.
And I
Yeah.
twerk.
Yeah.
Fair.
I do
Yeah.
twerk, and I wear thongs and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So
So that doesn't excite me to just go to the club and sit and look. And she says, "Oh, well, you can go to the club and you can sit and look and get excited. Then you can come home
Take
and
that
take it out on
energy.
you."
Yeah.
Yeah. Why can't I just have you do that at home? We save our money.
Good points.
my
Points
husband
are
is very money focused, y'all. So,
points. Points.
Yeah,
Points.
I'm
you
Yeah, but
know.
I
telling you.
think every now and then. But you have the strip clubs where you can touch them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Well,
So
I
you
don't,
can.
because I
You
don't,
don't want to
I
touch
don't.
them.
Yeah, I don't go.
Yeah, he won't even go with his sons.
No, but
or
country go.
anything.
But you guys can go together.
Yeah.
Some
No,
people
he
find
don't
that
want. He's not
bonding.
going. He won't go. I've been asking him for about 5-6
Yeah.
years, and
Ever
he's
since
like,
we've been
no.
together.
Like no.
I
So,
need that.
But did you go when you were younger?
A little bit. Not.
Yeah,
Not.
but it's
No.
not really
No.
your thing.
Not my thing.
you know what? He's a sapiosexual.
What's that?
Mind.
Oh.
You're about the mind.
Okay.
The mind turns you
Yeah,
on.
I agree.
So
I agree with
things that turn on other men don't turn him on. Is
that. It's just like
intellectual.
sports. I'm not a sports fanatic. I can watch it or not watch it. Most guys, you know, hey man, that's all they talk about is sports.
Most people, and he can testify to this. Most women have considered him boring.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
Just very boring. Like, you ever hear the saying, good guys finish last?
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And women have taken advantage of him because he is such a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they consider him boring because he's stable.
Yeah.
And someone that's not healed.
We'll
Could-
prefer the
yeah.
toxic cycles. and
Right,
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
So he's not exciting like that.
Yeah.
He's consistent
Mm-hmm.
and stable and kind. And most women wouldn't be able to appreciate that. But I was in such a bad relationship prior to him
Yeah.
that I was like, oh shit, this is good. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because it was too much excitement and too much pain and too much hurt. So when he came and offered me something different, I was ready for it
Yeah.
because I had healed from that part.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's
yeah.
very important. And as you said, that happened when you were ready at that
Mhm.
part of your journey. Some people
Yeah.
have to go through the toxic cycles and
Oh, yeah,
love,
child. Ooh,
crazy
Lord.
love. To be honest, I don't know if I'll ever be like, oh, I want calm, stable, 24/7. I'm
And
like,
that's all he is,
I'm like,
constant. No,
But see,
I
you,
need some,
but
some
see,
excitement. I don't need that anymore.
No, I get because
Yeah.
you've had that. So I'm still
Yeah.
like, give me the excitement, But
Yeah.
I mean, a perfect balance.
I
Because
get it.
obviously
I get it.
it does, like you say, if it's too much drama and it's too much hurt, it's just not worth it.
Yeah,
It's not worth your
like-
peace. It's not worth your. But at the same time, I want someone, sometimes
I mean,
fight.
you
Yeah, I
got the
understand what you-
stress of the job, you got the stress of racism, and all this other stuff. Why do I need to have that?
At home, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
like,
and
shit.
no, it's nice. It's like you said, like I think it was definitely your time.
Yeah.
For both of you.
Yeah,
to meet.
yeah.
You needed, this part of your journey. This is what you both need for each other.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
clearly complement each other. She still brings the, the
Yeah, she
drama,
does.
and the
feistiness,
excitement
yeah.
and stuff. And and he brings the stability, and
Yeah.
he allows you, as you said, to be in your feminine, and that is very beautiful to see.
And I live a
important.
soft life.
Mhm.
I live a very soft life.
I love that. It's inspiration.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so I thank God for that. But I used to be about it and fighting in the streets and
Ooh.
oh honey.
Ooh.
I tell him you couldn't handle me back then.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That
So
would
I'm
never be
just
fighting
a
in the
totally different person. And even my children are like, Mom, you're not who you used to be. But that was all my pain from growing up. So once you're healed, you want something different.
I see that. I
Yeah,
see that
so
for sure.
That's just where we are.
Okay, so
I
let's
appreciate you.
round. Thank you so much for being here. Let's round out with tip of the week. So just sex tips or just in general, as opposed to like your relationship.
I'm going to say my tip, and it's not a sex tip, but my tip is be your authentic self. That person that you were created to be. Don't conform to what people want you to be. just be, and you'll attract your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Just being who you were born to be.
Amen.
That's mine.
100%.
That's my tip.
Honey Bunny.
My tip would be communications.
Mm.
You know, just be able to talk, express yourself. That's basically.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
Cheron, where can we find you? Plug your social media.
Yes.
And all the things that you do, basically.
All things Cheron K. Griffin, CheronKGriffin. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of that.
All right. And then, are we plugging Honey Bunny too? Honey Bunny, where can we find
He
you?
doesn't do really.
Nah,
I
I'm
feel
really
like it
good.
looks like that. Find me behind
Hit her
Cheron.
up, right. Hit her up and you get me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow me at Hausa Chocolate. Follow the podcast at Spit or Swallow Pod. Follow us on YouTube, Spit or Swallow Podcast. We're also on TikTok, Spit or Swallow Pod, and on Twitter at SOS Pod Official. I'll see you guys same time next week, maybe.